Happy Halloween! It's Sunday, October 31st. I'm Christine from Hollis Hands Create. Welcome to my Flosstube. This is episode number 32. I hope everyone is having a great Halloween so far. Or if you don't celebrate Halloween, just having a great Sunday, great day. Want to say welcome to my channel. This is a channel about all my crafty endeavors, primarily cross stitch. Today will be cross stitch and maybe just a little bit of wool applique. Let's see, thank you so much. If you are a returning viewer, especially thank you if you're a subscriber. If you are someone who has wandered onto this channel by accident, I hope maybe you'll visit with me for just a few minutes, find something you're inspired by, and stick around and maybe come back for another video. Let's see, this was a big month. Of course, this was October's my birthday month. So I wanted to also say thank you so much for several birthday messages. I even received a couple of birthday gifts, some cards, some really nice messages for my birthday, but also I received a couple of messages that were just very kind and thankful for, or expressing thankfulness for me for doing these floss tubes, and I really appreciate that. This is a little bit of a kind of a scary endeavor sometimes to jump into something like floss tube, and I really appreciate those messages a lot. It really means a lot to me. So anyway, let's move on with the show, right? A little bit of a life update. Last time I had filmed was October 6th, and that was literally a couple hours before I was headed on to the airport to get on a plane to fly to Providence. And we had just a fantastic trip, 5-6 days driving through New England and leaf peeping and antiquing, and we had beautiful weather, gorgeous tree splendor, great food. It was really so very nice. My husband and I were trying to remember, we couldn't even remember really the last time that we had just spent nice vacation time like that, just the two of us without a child in tow, or many children in tow, the whole family and spouses. So it was really very nice. And so anyway, that was my last floss tube. One thing I did want to say is Sadie, my lovely little kitten, was definitely the star of the show. Out of all the comments, I would have to say that probably 85–90% of all the comments commented on Sadie and how cute she was and how adorable, even if she was being a little bit of a pill. She just wanted to be part of the show. Sadie is up sound asleep, afternoon napping, so she won't make an appearance today, but thank you for all of your nice comments about it wasn't frustrating, but I was starting to get like a little, with this kitten who just insisted that she needed to be right in the middle of what I was doing. So anyway, thank you again. I did get a little bit of Stitchy Haul on my trip. We only actually stopped at one place that was a cross-stitch store, and that was World and Stitches. And thank you so much to Luann, who is 518 Stitcher. She sent me a message letting me know that in Massachusetts there was a store called World and Stitches, and I did stop in there and visit with Randy for a little while, and I picked up a few things. I'm not going to show you Stitchy Haul specifically. I know sometimes people get a little weary of seeing all that, and I did just get a few things. I did post those on Instagram, so if you follow me on Instagram, you'd see what I bought. But I am going to show a couple of my sewing collectibles, because as everyone who's following me knows that I do collect sewing collectibles. I was very excited to find this tomato. Now this is definitely an older tomato. It has the really old Japan tag on it. It is done with the yellow cording and the green wool top. So this is definitely an older one, and I will say I think it's brand new. There are no needle holes at all in this thing. And I just got that for, you know, a couple dollars. So I was really excited about that. This was another really neat thing. This cabinet from this place that we were at in Vermont, they must have cleaned out an estate where the lady was a stitcher and or collector. And they had a lot of different things. They were a bit pricey, so I kind of had to pick and choose what I was wanting. But I wanted to show this one because this was just really unique. You've got the scissors, the scissor holder, the little pin cushion. This, the top actually comes off, and you've got a thimble. And it is a sterling silver thimble. It actually has the 925 stamp on the back of it. Really pretty. And then in here, you have the needle book. And there's a few really old needles in there. So I just was really in love with this little organizer. And so this was kind of my thing from Vermont. And then the other thing that I did purchase, and I posted this on my Instagram, that I was so super excited about, because I've been looking for a really nice spool cabinet for a lot of years. And we walked into, I can't even remember the name of the antique store, and unfortunately I don't have this spool cabinet to show you. I can insert some pictures. It was obviously too large to go on the airplane with me, so it will be something that will have to come back when my husband is coming back or making a drive at some point. So, but it was a gorgeous oak spool cabinet with a lift up lid that has the glass top, which will make it just a beautiful display area for things like my little, you know, collector here, and our little organizer, and just some different things to display. Then it has the beautiful pull-out drawers with the original handles. And it was, I got that for a song. I have been looking, my husband said it's got to be 20 years that I've been looking for one that I thought would fit my needs, was also not going to cost me an arm and a leg, because I am a collector, but I'm a pretty frugal collector. And he saw the price on that, and he almost couldn't get it out the door fast enough. So he really appreciated the price, because he's been looking for these things with me for quite some time. And anyway, we're very excited about that. So I will post some pictures of that. The only stitchy thing that I got that was kind of like a rescue the stitches, so to speak, was in an antique store that we popped in, and I happened to see this, and you can tell it was framed, and it was just done in like a kind of a cheap, I don't know, type frame. It was, the oak was peeling off of it. It wasn't even probably real oak, and a mat, you know, like a maroon mat. And so I pulled all that out. I got the whole thing for $5. So we got rid of the frame, but the beading on this thing, and I'll put it up really close, see if you can see the beading and all the work. And I got this, so I'm going to make this into a pillow for my little granddaughter, Alaska. And the reason that I was drawn to this is because for my daughter, Brittany, who's Alaska's mother, we collected carousel horses. And I stitched the Teresa Wensler carousel for her when she was little. So this is just kind of, even though I didn't really stitch it, I'm going to make it into, you know, a pillow. And the stitching on it was really beautiful. I mean, it's just in excellent condition. It's done on a 14 count Aida. And, you know, for $5, I thought it was worth rescuing, and it's really a beauty. So anyway, so that was kind of a fun little purchase. And so those were I had a lot of other purchases. I kind of filled up the back of our Jeep, actually. But a lot of the things were gifts, gifts from, you know, my dad for Christmas, and gifts for our 3 kids and things like that. And a few other things, but, you know, not really stitchy related. So I just wanted to kind of show you those things. Then I flew home and worked for about 10 days. My husband flew in this past weekend. He got in on late Thursday night. We got on an airplane early Friday morning, flew to Seattle. Our daughter Savannah is the social media manager for the 32nd expansion team for the NHL, the National Hockey League, and the Seattle Kraken. And Saturday was their inaugural season home opener. And so we flew out. Of course, she got us really nice tickets, and she had custom jerseys made for us, which were the actual official jerseys, not knockoff jerseys. And so she asked us what numbers we wanted on them. It had our names on the back. And so we were all decked out. And so we flew out and went to the game. The Climate Pledge Arena is absolutely beautiful. We were kind of counting. We have been to at least 7 arenas for in the NHL to see games, and by far the Climate Pledge Arena is the nicest. And not just because it's brand new, it's just beautifully done. They really did a fantastic job. And the game was fun. Unfortunately, they lost like right at the tail end. We thought they were going to win, but the crowd was so into it. They were thrilled to actually have hockey back in Seattle. It's been 96 years, I think they said, since they've had a hockey team, and they had their the old Metropolitans. And so it was a lot of fun. And we were there, for that game, and then got on a plane Sunday morning and flew back. And it was a whirlwind weekend, not a lot of sleep, but we had a great time. And of course, we had to go to, to the Pike Place Market and get some Pike Place chowder and lobster rolls, and just had, good food, and it was a good time. We did not get to see Savannah very much because, as you can imagine, it was, opening game. There was a lot to be done, brand new arena. There were a couple of hiccups, but nothing major, and probably really nothing that the fans noticed. And so she was working literally, I think she put in like 17 hours on Saturday, something like that. So we didn't get to see her a whole lot, but she knew we were there, and that's what counts, right? So then we, yesterday spent the day, my older daughter Britt and Alaska are still here, and we drove down, met my father and stepmother in Middle Missouri, and had like 5 or 6 antique places that we wanted to go to. So I bring that up because I was very lucky in being able to get this little machine. It's a muller. I did reach out to one of my good friends, Kathy, who collects child sewing machines, and kind of talked to her a little bit about it, and she assured me that I had gotten a really great deal. I was very excited about this, and then we did some more research. My daughter kind of did a little deep dive into the internet and looking at Etsy and eBay and some places, and she was like, oh my gosh, Mom, she said, you got an absolute steal for what she was seeing that they're being sold for. We did find out, and Kathy did tell me it's really old, but I was able to find out that it is a muller, and that these were produced from like 1890 to 1910. And as you can see, the painting on it is absolutely perfect. I mean, there's just not even really any scratches on it. And it has on this side, I don't know if you can see this, but the most beautiful bird. It's like a fractal bird in here. So I was very excited to get this. Tucked it away in a little antique store. Just beautiful. And it's, obviously it's a hand crank. You can you see that going up and down? There you go. Can you imagine? Actually, now they just taught people how, taught children how to stitch on these, but I can't even imagine trying to hand crank while you're, and the lever still lifts the presser foot up and down. So very excited about that. And the nice thing is the size. Like, it's so tiny, but it's so ornate and so pretty. it'll fit right into my collection and doesn't take up just a huge amount of space. So I was excited about that. So I kind of wanted to show that because I was really very excited when I found out too that I actually had paid a really, really low price for it. And sometimes that's not always the case when you're in one of those places. And I couldn't get any kind of internet to pop up at this place, and to even try to look real quick online to see if I could see what they were going for. So anyway, it was a little bit of a gamble, and it paid off. So, okay. And then on to stitching. Okay. So if you'll remember, a couple of months ago, my vacation start was And Be Kind, and I had shown it completed, but I want to show it now framed. And let me see if I can pull back here enough. There you go, to see the framing. So I got this back, and it looks really nice. You can kind of see a bit of the wood grain in here, and I chose a fillet to go in. And I did not put glass on this one. And that was And Be Kind by Needlework Press, and stitched on 40 count Eureka from Fox and Rabbit. So I was very, very happy about this. And so I've been waiting to hang it. I know right where it's going, but I've been waiting to hang it until I was able to show it. So there you go. Very happy about that one. Okay. And as you know, I'm in my workroom, so I'm kind of moving around because I'm standing, so I hope to not be too disturbing with that. Okay, on to my October work. Now, I shared with you at my last episode that what my new starts would be, my whip, and kind of what my plan was. I stuck to my plan. I'm very proud of myself. No squirrels. So I had my birthday start with my friend Becky, who's Socks for Mom Instagram, and we picked for this year's birthday start Manor at Peacock Hill. I'll show it to you this way. It's a beautiful chart from Brenda Gervais with my needle. And here is where I finished. So this is, see if we get real close, you can see that detail in here. So that detail goes all the way across. So I would do some of that and then go do something else. And this was my airplane stitching. So I stitched the whole trunk on the plane with the Seattle trip. And I stitched a big chunk of the neck here on my flying back from Providence trip. So anyway, I think so far it's looking pretty good. Our plan for this one, Becky and I talked about, is to finish by the end of the year. Oh, I'll just show you. Here's my threads. They're really, really beautiful, beautiful colors. So, and I'm stitching that one on 40 count Lakeside Linen Purled Barley. So I'll move that one out of the way. So there's the progress there. I felt like it was good progress. Becky and I throughout the month coordinated what we were stitching on. So we were stitching on the same nights, and that was a lot of fun and very kind of gets you going, right? And keeps you from also jumping off onto the squirrel bandwagon. Okay, my October start that I had planned for 2021 when I had my new start for each month was a Ghoultide Welcome from Plum Street Samplers. You've seen this a lot. And we finished page 1. So here's where I got to. And I was very happy with this progress. I'm stitching this one on 36 count Bee's Knees by Seraphim Fabrics, and I'm using the called for NPI silks. this is what I'm going to be stitching on actually for tonight for my Halloween stitch. My third thing, because I had my 2 new starts, I knew I needed to pull a whip and work on a whip. And so I did. I pulled out Boo to You. And last year I had started Boo to You in October, and the only thing I had done was just the pumpkin head. Not even the little leaves, but just the pumpkin head. And so I was able to finish Boo to You. And I just did a simple gingham homespun fabric backing, and it's stuffed partially with fiberfill and crushed walnut shells. I like with pillows to do crushed walnut shells and pour them into, so each of these corners, if you squeeze them, you can feel the walnut shells, but especially along the bottom. Actually, you can feel them all the way across. I really try to because that gives it that it will actually kind of stand. Now, you might see I have some pins. So what I did in this little section, I'll kind of show you. It's supposed to have some of the similar little flowers like it's on her dress. It's supposed to be in here. But I thought, well, you know, I want my pumpkin to be full of candy, right? So I had these little pins. These are little Jabco pins from the Halloween assortment pack. And so there's my candy corn and my candy pumpkin. And I just tucked them right in there so they look like they're coming up out of her little pumpkin basket. And that's Boo to You, all finished up. So I was very happy with that finish. And I felt good to get a whip done as well, especially since I had 2 new starts. And then my last big project that I worked on, that I showed everyone, was the Raven. And I'm putting this together with 3 other friends, Roberta Lyle and Kay Dunlap and Becky Wilder, Socks for Mom. And this is what the finished looks like. This is a Blackbird Designs autumn quilt of Applique Designs. It's called the Raven. You can still get this. And I'll show you. So October was block 1. And this is my block 1. Now I'm not 100% finished. I still have to do a stem stitch in here to create the stem for this little flower. Do a stem stitch to come out between these 2 leaves and applique the 2 leaves on. I have to applique the top of the acorn on and its leaves. The Blackbird, the Raven is finished. The hill, the grass hill, and the tree, you know, is finished. The star is finished. And then I have to stem stitch in here because you'd see that this would go up with these leaves. So once I get the stem stitching done, I'll applique those leaves on. And this will be my project actually probably for this afternoon after I wrap up doing my floss tube. But I'm loving how that is coming out. It's going to look so nice. So that's the Raven. So then, of course, we'll have block 2 that we're pulling out for November to do. You can easily do these in 1 month. That you could do all of them if you wanted to, if you really sat down and concentrated with it. But it's kind of fun to take a little bit of a break from cross-stitching sometimes and just do something else that's kind of quick and easy. But it's fun, you know, you're cutting out the pieces and, you know, putting it on. And I really enjoy it. So anyway, those were my 4 or my 3 whips, 1 finish that I had, and my October work is pretty much done. Like I said, I will work on a Ghoultide Welcome a little bit tonight and wrap up Halloween, and then we're on to November. So that's that. Let's see. You know what? It's time for Just Saying, stitch accessories you'll instantly need. So this episode, we're going to focus on planning. As everyone knows, the 2022 Book of Days has hit the shelves, so to speak. And a lot of us are working on all of our plans for 2022. Now, I use the garbage out of mine, and I will say I'm not really a sticker person. I use mine to just literally track what I did. I put a big sticky with what my plan is for this month. Lest I try to stray, I go back and I look at that. It was my plan for October and what I did each night. And I also record, when I filmed a floss tube so that I can go back and refer, to it. And also just, to be able to know, okay, I worked on these things and I need to show these things to you. And it also kind of keeps me honest a little bit there too. So I'm going to go ahead and write that down. Today is floss tube number 32, and it'll be on my little black cat here on the 31st. And I can record, here, it says notes and musings. I put on what my new starts were, what my rotation is going to be. If I've got any kind of special things, sometimes on the 13th, I'll participate in dark stitching, and I'll write down what I'm going to do there. And then I record any finishes. So this is where I had recorded Boo to You, and it's finished number 15 for the year. And so that makes it kind of nice, because then what I do is I will take my Book of Days, and like once a month or maybe once every other month, I grab my other journal. And this is my stitching journal that is truly a journal, not just a calendar, but truly a journal. It goes back to, this one particular one goes back to 2017. And I just have all kinds of notes, finishes. This is where I keep my whips listed so that I know specifically. Like for instance, here was December 2018. I had listed out my current whip list. When I participated in the Stitch 9 challenge, which I believe I only got 7 of the 9 finished, but I was able to pick out the ones I wanted and make, highlighted when they were finished, put the notes of when they were finished. This is really kind of where I truly keep what I'm, where I stand, what's in my baskets and bags and things like that. So here's the 2020, and you can see I've got all kinds of notes. Now one is scratched out because I actually scrapped that one. I'll go back and put on here finished, the date that it was finished, and it can come off of the list. But I keep this because it really kind of just shows you what you're doing and what's going on. And then I take my information from my Book of Days and I go back and I write in, like here's for 2021, finishes and new starts, and kind of maybe something that's a bigger thing I want to keep track of. So August 13th, I finished Feast of Friendship. That was number 11. August 20th, new start, Autumn at Huck Run Hollow. September 4th, finished Heritage Sampler by Plum Street, finished number 12. So I will take my Book of Days and I'll list it in my October progress in my journal. So this stays with me. Now, there are all different kinds of journals that you can get. You can buy your own journal. You can buy, there's some specific cross stitch. Lori Holt, It's So Emma, has a cross stitch journal that you can, project book. I believe that one maybe has room for like 50 projects. It just really depends on how many projects you do a year, how much you think you'll write in it, and does it serve your purposes? You can do journals on your phone. There's, I took the time to kind of look up some apps. There's the Cross Stitch or X Stitch app, and X Stitch Plus, which are extremely popular. You can treat those as journals. You can put pictures of what you're working on. You can put when you started that. Here's my new start picture. Here's my finish. They also serve as inventory trackers, which is really nice. Now, I use the X Stitch app, but I only put my Blackbird projects, my Blackbird stash, as it were, in there, and I put my silks in there, and I put my fabric in there. The rest of the things I don't keep track in there. And I really think I started out, in the beginning when I first got it, I went through, spent, oh my gosh, I don't know how long it took me to go through and get it all put in. But I found I just don't really keep track. And the one thing that I do want to know before I make a purchase, and some of this is just based on because of the cost, right, of making those purchases, are the silks and the fabrics. I actually have a pretty good memory on my charts. I have not really purchased double. I don't know. I just, for some reason, I'm able to remember before I've ever purchased a second one. But linen is a different story, and colors of linen, and it's not inexpensive to buy linen. So, and same thing with silks. So I do keep those in there because if you are out and about, it's nice to pull that up real quick and look to see, what colors do I have, and what do I need if I'm trying to kit something, on the fly. So you can use the Cross Stitch and Cross Stitch Plus. That is a free app. It does not cost a download. Another free one is Stitch Pal. You can use that, download that one and use that one. Then there are a couple that are a nominal fee, like $1.99, I think, and one was like maybe $3.99. One is called Thready, which is a thread tracker. One is called X Stitcher, which is by Coffee Shop Works, and I believe that's the one that's like $1.99 to download, and you can use those too. So, in the spirit of planning, I'm going to give away one of the 2022 Book of Days. So if you have not purchased your Book of Days already, or maybe you want to have a chance to win another one because you want to gift it to a friend, what all I need you to do is in your comment, let's use the word planner. Since we're all about planners and planning and getting ready for 2022, use the word planner. This is a beautiful cover. I absolutely love the cover this year that Vicki chose from Needlework Press. And it will help you do all of your next year's planning and stickering. I know a lot of people do stickers. I have these in the shop, and because stickers are such the rage, I did actually have a couple of stickers printed. And you'll get this one. I don't know if you can see it. It says 2022 Ready, Set, and Stitch. And I also include a couple of whip count stickers. I'm going to put one of these on my January and one of these on my December just this year because I want to kind of see how well I did, because this year I'm really going to focus I'm going to have some new starts, I know that, but I'm going to focus a lot on my whips and trying to get rid of some whips. So I'll include those if you want to get one of these from the shop. If you aren't lucky enough, unfortunately, to win, I will be giving away this one though. So be sure to comment and use the word planner. Okay. Oh, just so you can kind of see, I've been doing my planning. Before I put it into my book, this is another method, right? Good old paper and pad. And I've just already been working on picking things out. Okay, so you know what you can win this next time. How about we talk about who actually won this last time? I had a couple of things I was giving away. There's two. One was the Black Cat Waxer from Taylor Nash, Stacy Nash's daughter. You guys had some great comments. I thought they were pretty funny. And it worked out great that Sadie decided she needed to be the star of the show, because even though she's not a black cat, it kind of lent itself really well to some of the comments, which were kind of funny. And then the other thing was to use the word spooked. And I have the three-part mystery sampler that had been put out by Lizzie Kate a few years back. I have it. I just never stitched it. And I thought, you know, instead of sitting in my stash, I'm going to give it away. Okay. So who won Black Cat? Ellen Matoba. Ellen Matoba. It's M-A-T-O-B-A. Congratulations, Ellen. You have won the Black Cat Waxer. So, for both winners, please just email me with your mailing address and to the email address that I'm going to have in the description box below, and I'll get these right out to you. And the winner of the Lizzie Kate Mystery Sampler Spooked is Allison Ferber. Allison Ferber, F-E-R-B-E-R. And congratulations, Allison. I hope you look forward to stitching that. A quick word about the giveaway that's for this next time. Please be at least 18. You're going to be sending me your address, so I need you to be at least 18. Don't use the word giveaway or freebies, because I want to make sure that the planner goes to someone who really is going to use it. So we'd like to reward the stitchers. I think that I've gone through my notes. Not a super long video today, which I'm sure is probably not a bad thing. And I'm just kind of looking around here. I think I'm all pretty good. One quick note: if you're looking for Pat Carson's Pat's Favorite Needles, the run on them happened this week, and so I am now completely out. And obviously, I cannot get those anymore from the distributor. Sorry to say that, because I stitch with Pat's needles. And one other quick little note on the Butternut House pattern from Stacy Nash. You'll need to realize that when you're stitching that one, there's an error in the steps in the grass. So be aware of that if you've purchased that, if you have not already stitched it, and you'll need to add in those steps. So there's just a couple of quick little shop notes, and I think that's it. So thank you so much. Tonight's Halloween. My little granddaughter is still here, and even though she only has 2.5 teeth right now, with tiny little edges of tooth number 4 and 5 poking through on the top, she clearly is not going to be eating candy. But my daughter is all going to be all dressed up as the sweetest little ladybug, and so she's going to be out trick-or-treating. And we'll share, we did the sweetest little cards, and I'll go out with this saying Happy Halloween. There she is, our little Alaska Rose. She's just adorable. So enjoy the night.